hard. Hello! Today I'm going to do a Battlereaper portrait or bust in watercolor. Now what's different about this painting is that I started without any kind of underdrawing. I just wanted to see how I could do sketching with the watercolor itself and working right from nothing. So here we go, sketching with basically green watercolor, and again I'm using Crayola watercolors pretty much right out of the pan, although I have some in this palette on the side. So we're just sketching out the character in the green, sketched in his armor and his shoulder pads with the spikes, some of his hair, laying in some rough shadows with the green. And I'm actually kind of surprised at how well this turned out. But it was a little bit of a process. Overall, I believe the painting took about 4 hours. So I've gone to a base yellow color and laying that in to kind of saturate the character. And you'll notice everything in the image looks really yellowed out. That is mostly my camera. For some reason my phone camera records everything yellowish, so there's going to be a very big difference between the finished picture in the video and the finished picture that's been scanned into the computer and put on here. But that difference is, it's not like anything was changed, it's just the difference between the lens on my camera and the scanner. And the scanner is more accurate to what is actually on the paper. Okay, so now I'm using a dark brown to lay in the really hard shadows, the crack in the eye holes, and the kind of shiny shadow bits of the armor there. And so this has been a process of just building things up with washes, wet and wet, trying to keep everything kind of soft and make everything gradually blend, while also I was trying to get as much saturation as I could in this watercolor painting. And I noticed a lot of times with the Crayola, I don't know if it's the Crayola or if it's the paper itself, I would lay in a lot of color and then all of a sudden it would get very spotty and grainy looking. But I do have some other watercolors, and I think I might go ahead and put the Crayola away for a while, try the other stuff out, if I do anymore. I did recently get some acrylics, and I'll be doing a painting in acrylic in September. Okay, so laying in some dark green grays on the armor to give it more of that metallic appearance. Putting some more red into the armor, so I wanted it to have that rich leather, like a brownish red leather color. And the shoulder pads themselves are red, or not shoulder pads, but they are like I don't know, they're strap type deals with the spikes in them. And then I went with blue to deepen in the armor a bit and make it, took away some of that richness in it, but I thought it gave it a little bit more of that proper brown leather and dark look. Now here I was laying in some backlight with green, because I wanted to get a really bright green backlight on him, because that smoky background texture is like the green of the underworld where he resides. And in the watercolor it didn't work out too well, and I did what I could to fix it later on, but that's one of those things where it seems you have to kind of put it in there even before you lay any of the paint on it. There I just went ahead and painted in some texture on the armor, like little nicks and dings from battle, laying in more shadows, trying to define the teeth a little bit more. working some more with the shadows. There's a lot of going back and darkening things in, and then taking them a little darker. Adding different colors to achieve more effect as I went through the process. Now I'm beginning to lay in the hair. I decided to start with the blue. So there's the light blue, and you can see some of that graininess there. I'm using a darker blue to help deepen it up a little bit. And right here it's all wet and wet, so it's going very soft, very blendy. Let's see, added some more shadows, more darkening the dark bits on the armor and stuff, trying to get that contrast. And here I laid in a lot more green into the background, going for some chaotic splatter, just kind of lay it all in. Now I'm starting to actually define the hair a little bit more, breaking it up into sections with the dark blue. This is also still very wet, very much not really a wash, but it's soft, so it's not meant to be highly defined yet. Just kind of working all over the place, darkening everything in. Now I've got some very dark blue. I think I've mixed a little bit of black in there to get some darker shadows. At this point I'm starting to actually do some definition, so I'm not working nearly as wet. Yeah, I'm getting some of those strands defined in there. And of course touching up all the black areas around the image. Trying to work in those dark tones. Working on that green a little bit more, trying to make it blend and spread and saturate, giving it some more texture. And now I'm drying everything off. We're almost done. Here we go. I'm going in with colored pencils, trying to add a little bit more fine detail, refining the highlights in the body, trying to sharpen up that backlight edge. Went ahead and pulled the tape off so I could turn the image and get around on it. And using the colored pencil to color in some of the strands of hair in the hair, and deepen in some of the darks in the armor. And the white did not work out so well, so I tried to use a gel pen, which did not work out at all. And eventually I went ahead and just switched over to gouache. Using white gouache, I laid in my highlights with a brush. That actually worked out really well. So I actually repainted the highlights of the teeth back in with the white gouache, the armor, defined the spots in it, painted in some of the highlights and strands in the hair, and then signed it at the bottom. And of course, there's always a little bit more touch-up to do, but here is the final scanned image. And thank you so much for watching. Please like and subscribe if you enjoyed my video, and I hope to see you in the next one. Thank you.